Hi there, my name is Graham Versailles. I'm from Waldorf Wine Group. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Fine Wines by Liquor Select Home Series Tasting. Our first wine of the day is the 2018 Domaine Pinson Chablis Premier Cru La Forêt. A little bit about the winery. Pinson, the family arrived in 1640, roughly. The modernization, the modern period, I guess, if you will, was Laurent and Christophe taking over the vineyard in 1983 and 1987 after attending oenology school in Beaune. 2004, the winery itself underwent modernization, all the accoutrements and computer-controlled devices. In 2008, Charlene Pinson, after attending oenology and viticulture school in Beaune, came on board, and now she is the primary winemaker with a little bit of help from her father and her uncle. The La Forêt vineyard is quite tiny. It is 0.68 hectares and it's 70-year-old vines. So those vines are really working hard. They are way down there now, pulling up all that mineral and pulling up all that just beautiful notes. Okay, let's get into the wine a bit here. All right, well, we've got a nice clear edge and a golden core. It's lovely. On the nose, that's some pretty nice baked apples and a little bit of orange peel, some grapefruit pith. Let's give it a run. Wow, that is a superpower wine. Crushed rocks. Mineral, wow, look how many times your mouth waters. Big spikes of acid. Really goes. The lemon peel, floral, wow, just tons of flowers on that. That is a gorgeous wine. I think this could age probably 4 to 5 years, not much longer. That is a beautiful wine. Boy, could you imagine just some mussels, a little bit of chopped parsley, some white wine, some garlic. That would be outstanding. Nice crispy bread. Roast chicken is always wonderful with this, with your favorite mustard. Baked potatoes or just smashed potatoes with some olive oils. Like the attack and the acid on this is so capable of running right through, driving itself right through any sort of fattier type dishes. I mean, you think about it, escargot in cream sauce all the time, and this will just punch right through that. So, brilliant wine. Let's move on. Our second wine of the day is the 2017 Selbach Oster Zeltinger Himmelreich Cabernet Halbtrocken, which is half dry. It's a perennial favorite amongst collectors because it can age 10, 15, 20 years even if you really had the patience. I mean, it's so good right at the very beginning, but you can age these wines a long time. That sugar and acid just carries and carries and carries. A little bit about the Weingut, Selbach Oster. The family has been in the Moselle region for over 400 years, so they know a thing or two. Currently, it is owned and operated by Johannes and his wife Barbara, and their 2 children are coming up. Sebastian is now making wine under the tutelage of Johannes, and Hannah has gone away to school and darts back and forth from Berlin, studying international business and marketing and all of the things necessary to really, keep the Selbach Oster name as prevalent as it is. They own 24 hectares in the Moselle region. Himmelreich, Badstu, Kraker Domprost, the Sonnener Vineyard, and tend to it all with a large fleet of people. It's amazing. It's quite a place. They're just beautiful family. If you ever get a chance to go to the Moselle, it is one of the most staggering places. It is this big S-turning river that comes off of the Rhine at Koblenz and heads all the way along, and it's just big, huge, steep steep hills, sidewalls to the riverbank, and it filled with slate. So that's where that minerality comes from. That's where that big hit of mineral right off the hop comes from. And let's give it a sniff. Nice clear edge, golden core. Oh, wow. I love Riesling. Tons of mineral. That lime, a little bit of floral elements, the lemon peel, the grapefruit pith. It's just gorgeous. This wine is vinified to 17 grams of sugar per liter, so not overly sweet when you compare other wines globally, even red wines. Some of them are encroaching on 15 to 18 grams of sugar per liter. This is vinified in Foeder, which are large oak casks, and all with sustainable practice in the vineyard. All right, let's give it a taste. Bang. Acid. So much your mouth waters. That's the waves of acid, and then you get the delivery of mineral and orange and pear apple, and that little bit of caramel and that little nuttiness that comes along with it. So good, right? See, your mouth is still watering. One wave after another. Floral elements. It's so amazing what Riesling can do. And because of that attack of acid, like we were talking about with the Chablis, but more so with Riesling, is its persistent ability to just keep your mouth watering. I mean, I think we're at 8 or 9 times now. It's incredible, and that's what makes it so good with things like salty foods, like sushi, for instance, and soy sauce, and the way that they can intermingle and dance across one another. So important with that. Pork sausages, of course, with grated potatoes and fried and mashed potatoes, and great rice dishes that are just filled with mushrooms, and I'm getting hungry. And then even things like it can cross over into things like American pulled pork sandwiches. Riesling and pulled pork, those smoked applewood pulled pork sandwiches, and this will just go like crazy. Best friends. And don't forget, like Indian food, curries, the dal, yellow dal, and Thai food, coconut with pad Thai, and that sort of thing this will just sing all the way right through it. Riesling is so versatile. I urge everybody to really try and experience Riesling as much as possible, and just keep trying different ones too from different parts of the world. But you will notice the acid from the Moselle and from Germany. It's just more persistent. They can really, and they can age 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, some of them. The Auslesen level, Trockenbeeren Auslese, Eiswein, amazing. All right, moving on. Our third and final wine is the 2008 Lopez de Heredia Vina Tondoña Bosconia. Amazing. El Bosque. A little bit about the winery first. 145 years old. Don Raphael arrived from Bordeaux and in 1877 and began construction of the winery and the bodega and the vineyard. It is the oldest vineyard in the Haro region, the Rioja Alta, and is currently owned and operated by the Lopez family. Maria, a trained enologist and viticulturalist, and Mercedes, an engineer, are responsible for the day-to-day operations and making of the wine. El Bosque. Originally, the vineyard was actually planted as Pinot Noir, which is pretty cool. But sometime about 50 years ago, the replanting began, and now the vineyard is 80% Tempranillo, 15% Garnacha, 5% Mazuelo, and Graziano. The wine is vinified in American oak. By the way, I will post photos of this, of Lopez Heredia. It is an incredible place. 13,000 barriques, American barriques below. They have a full-time cooperage. It is an amazing facility. The old world, definitely. Back to the Boscogna. It is aged 5 years in American oak, where it is racked 2 times per year, and fined with egg whites, with fresh egg whites. It is then stored in bottle, covered in wax, for 10 years. Then it's released, and that's why you have these wines that are, still, have these bottle age on them, and they're just calm, but they're able to retain the acid, and because they age them so long, the acid dissipates and everything starts to form together, and the wines really come into their own. But they only release them when they're really at the front edge of when they're supposed to be drunk. Now keep in mind that this wine could age another 15 to 20 years, really take on some incredible secondary flavors. You'd have to age it correctly, make sure that it's in a proper storage condition. All right. Anyways, let's look at the color. Got a nice deep core, but wow, look at that orange rim on that. That is just amazing. Oh, I could smell these wines forever. Just so bright. You can smell that. Like the clay is this red clay, and I don't know what it is. You can really feel that when you raise this glass. Incredible. Mineral, cooked red fruit. It's starting to send into some secondary flavors though, right? You've got some dried, like that little bit of dried cranberry, that little bit of dried raspberries, if you've ever had them, and that dried Bing cherry. It's really amazing. But again, like Riesling and like Chablis, you feel the acid really start to roll, and it just keeps rolling, and it delivers all those little floral elements and orange peel. There's that dustiness. There's that little bit of that little dusty, that's gorgeous, like little coffee tone in there as well. I mean, what are you going to serve with this? Anything roasted, game, lamb, stuffed tenderloin, mushroom duxelle stuffed tenderloin with walnuts, crusted in walnuts, and some little bit of maple syrup on kale. Amazing. A little bit of cream. Simple things too. Beans, potatoes, rice. It has the acid to be able to drive right through it, and it will help it shine. It'll really lift the wine and show you these beautiful, beautiful things. Of course, even over the course of an evening, this is really going to change. So think about that, about the aging potential of these wines. The Lopez Heredia, the Cubillo, amazing age ability as well. And of course, if you can ever get your hands on some of the whites or a Rosado, well worth it. Well worth searching for and finding. The boys at Liquor Select, they get them from time to time, so you can inquire. On that note, I guess that concludes our tasting. I'd like to thank everyone at Liquor Select for giving me this opportunity. It's fun. It's awesome to be able to talk about food and wine, especially at this day and age, right now in this time. So everybody stay safe. If you have any comments or questions, I'll keep an eye on that section. And everyone have a great day. Thanks.